There we go. Look at that. Testing that thing out. All right, we're in a mock draft here for a little bit. Just kind of get you some feels. One reason I decided to do this one today is because there isn't much out there for auction mock drafts. So I wanted to kind of dig in here, give you an idea of what you got a feeling for. The thing that is terrible about mock drafts for auction, especially when you use any of the services, is that you end up losing half the people by the time you're about 8 picks in, and about 3/4 of the people buy about 20 picks in. So we're going to kind of go at it here. I'm going to put the kids to bed soon, but we'll give this a try. And then we will be streaming the actual mock draft next week that I have for my fantasy league, because I need to record it. As you can see here, David Johnson going for about 74. I use a couple different tools when I'm doing my mock drafts, or just in my drafts in general. A couple of them I'd like to tell you about. Make sure you check out the subreddit for fantasy football. It's a pretty big deal. I find quite a few good tools out there, points of view that I never have checked out before. So we take the most common one right off the list there. Johnson goes for 74, which isn't, terribly bad. I think, especially when we do these mocks, it's kind of a joke. It's like, let's get this thing to where this actually needs to be. There we go. I'll just skip it. Let's go. Someone else. I don't want him for 66. There we go. In my fantasy football league, I've got Antonio Brown, which I grabbed off waivers like 3-4 years ago for 24 as my keeper, and I think he might be like 26 now. $26 out of a $200 budget, and Devontae Adams at 20. So gives us kind of some options here and different things to look at. I want to pull up something else here. All right. Le'Veon Bell goes for 67, so you got to ask yourself, which one would you rather have? It's actually kind of low, so I'm impressed there. All right, stop goofing with this. Let's get this to 40. Yeah, there we go. 56 is a good one. Antonio Brown for 58. So now you can see people are really starting to rein themselves in, trying to be careful as far as how much they want to spend. All right. So here's a strategy someone used. They obviously would throw that out in most cases because you don't want Marshawn Lynch. It's not necessarily a bad strategy. I've been thinking about throwing him out early just to kind of get the dollars out of the way. I'm not really interested in Marshawn. I'm more interested in his backup. Don't tell anybody that. Okay, so it's almost up to me. I'm next. I want to think about some guys I'm not too interested in myself. So some more strategies. Throw out an early defense. See if you can get anyone to take it for 2. And as you can see already, you've got some people leaving. And one of them, as a matter of fact, is even the one who spent a ton of money on. Oh. Okay, so the purchase of Lynch at 33 wasn't an actual person, and that's the part that gets frustrating about this, is now you've got bots bidding. Nobody in their right mind, honestly, you should not be paying $6 for a defense. That's just not the way it is. You keep it as low as possible. Now I'm going to toss out someone I'm not interested in. Now let's see where he's going to go. Now we want to put him out there for 10. Alright, so it looks like this test is going to work here. I'm going to guess about 22, maybe to 34. The problem is you've got the bots in here again. 36 right there. Allison, that person isn't even here, so it makes this completely useless. Nothing, just testing out a stream thing on YouTube for the auction draft when I do it. Yeah.
What a terrible problem.
I don't love. Are they almost ready? Alright. So as we take a look at Ezekiel Elliott, I may have in my league, if I already had 2 running backs locked up, if that pick comes out later, I might have paid like 30 for him. And that's just because of the keeper league situation in a couple of leagues I'm in. Because then the next year he only cost me 33. He's going to be worth it. It just sucks. You've got a dead spot on your roster. What you're seeing here is people are already dropping off, and that's where it gets frustrating. All right, so we get into like a 2. You might consider him a 2 or 3 tier. This would be your second tier wide receiver, and automatically up to 65. So we're paying attention here as money has been kind of spent. We've seen Brown go for 58. See, that's a steal now when you look at it. I would much rather have Antonio Brown. Apparently, some folks would rather have Julio Jones by far. I'm going to save my money here, and what I want to do is I'm actually going to end up targeting McCoy. I'm going to target Green, and I'm going to target Gordon. I'm going to stay away from Ajayi. I'm really not that interested. I'm really not, people are high on Jordan Howard. I've been paying attention as much as I can to what people are talking about. I'm not going crazy over it. Let's get this going. That's the part, is like people want to play games here and throw it out at 1. I understand if you're not interested in them, but still, put it out at like 15. I might not be interested in them at 30, but at 15, who cares? Alright, so now we're moving. Alright, Thomas at half the price of Jones. Still kind of holding out here. Watching it. I've got a tool over here I'm looking at that normally I'd be filling out as I go through it to kind of get an idea of costs on these different guys, on what I could actually project them to be. You've got Chris here that already has locked up 2 major starters, and quite a few of us still sitting at 200. Alright. Let's just, we're just going to speed it up again. We're up to 64 now. Okay, now if Julio is 66, then it's not that far of a stretch to say Odell's 64. And what you're already starting to sense here is you're going to want to start researching some $1 guys. If this is a legit draft, which it's not, if it was a legit draft, you'd be going, okay, who am I going to be buying for 1? Because I need a list here of guys I can work with. Because you're going to see we're going to start spending. Now, again, this is a mock draft, so it makes it tough because you're not really thinking about it. I'm reaching about the top. I can go for McCoy. On my budget, on my league, I'm actually looking to go maybe around here. We're going to go to 61. If he came back hard at 62, I would have stepped out. We're going to go 1 more. And now, see, now I'm battling with a bot. I'm not interested in this in a mock draft. But if Jones is worth 66, I think McCoy is worth 63. It's terrible. Okay, so I got one of the guys I kind of had my heart set on. I'm comfortable with it. I may end up coming swinging back through and trying to pick up a handcuff on him because he does tend to go down a little bit. He has a history of missing a couple games. Brandon Cooks, I'm enjoying. I like the idea of Brandon Cooks. I got him in one of my leagues. I kept him as a keeper. I'm hearing a lot of hate on him, so I don't know what's going on there. But as I take a look at him, I think he's got an opportunity. I get that he's got to share share catches. There's just not enough to go around, and it's Tom Brady who'll throw to everybody twice the whole game, except for Randy Moss. But I'm going to go ahead and let him go for 40-something. He may creep up to 50 as we take a look. It wouldn't surprise me. We got enough bots in here and driving up the price. We got one live person. So now Chris here is probably going to leave. Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it. You know, you're sticking around. You've got 3 great players, but in a real mock, I guess it's not a legit mock to me. Just if you were to actually say, these are the people I'm going to keep in my game for the year, I feel that's the part that's frustrating. The projected value when you do the mocks is not necessarily worth anything, or even in my live stuff. It gets crazy. You kind of have to inflate some of these numbers. I'm going to go ahead and jump him up real quick. Let's not play games. Yeah, exactly. 64. 65 actually comes from a real person who doesn't have anybody yet. So I'm guessing if they come back here, I'm going to go one more in here and see if we can get him to bite on one more dollar. I don't want Evans. I think he's going to lead me with him. I don't want him. It's going to end up pushing me out of this mock because I screwed up. I would be totally upset if this was real. But we live with it now, and now we're working. So for me, I'm taking a look here. I've got to fill at least one more legit running back. Otherwise, I'm not going to be happy. I can make most of the rest of it work, but I need a legit running back. So I think the guy I'm going to have to target is Crowell when he comes around, but I cannot throw him out. I want to wait until everybody else has 2 running backs before I worry about Crowell. Okay? That's the idea. Is hopefully they'll be like, it's too expensive. But you can look at me right now as I take a look here. My average price, $5. I'd be in tough shape. 59 is the max. I'm hoping Crowell goes for like 30, and then I'm in a situation where I'm just plugging away, filling in with a bunch of ones. I'm going to have to look at another wide receiver, maybe a Brandon Marshall type late in this pick order. Let me take a look here. I'm not even interested in these next probably 10 people that they throw out. Fitzgerald is pretty high up there. I'd probably go in for him. I have to lower someone like Marshall. I'd probably wait so I could actually bid on some of these guys, because these guys are not going to come in at ones. But don't forget Bolden retired now, so they've blown him off the piece. Alright, let the bots work through this. Rumor has it Zay Jones, but then I already got someone from Buffalo. How far down here would I have to go? Alright, well, cut it here for the test run on the auction draft. Hopefully you're checking this out. When I go to do this, I think it's is it a week from today? We'll come back, we'll jump back into the auctions, and you'll see me here for 3 hours on this beast as we power through it. A little bit more play-by-play. I'll maybe pop in a little early so you can get a feel for some of my strategy that's been successful for me. Take care.